Some stories are so powerful they feel like destiny. In a quiet corner of Rosario, Argentina, under the watchful eyes of a hard-working family, a boy was born, not just to live, but to change the world's most beloved sport forever. His name, Lionel Andres Messi. But before the world knew him as a legend, before the roaring crowds, the golden trophies, and the unforgettable goals, there was only a small, determined child with an unshakable dream and a heart bigger than any stadium. This is not just a story of talent. This is a journey shaped by sacrifice, struggle, and an unbreakable will. From playing barefoot in the streets to facing life-changing medical challenges, from being overlooked due to his size to becoming the greatest of all time, Messi's path was anything but easy. But what really happened behind the scenes? What did it take to transform a quiet boy into a global icon? And what secrets lie behind his unstoppable rise? In this video, we're going deep into the unknown chapters of Lionel Messi's life, stories of fear, pain, love, and glory that few have heard and even fewer understand. Get ready for a roller coaster of emotions, because this isn't just about football. It's about the human spirit, the kind that refuses to give up no matter the odds. So before we dive into the heart of Messi's legacy, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with that one person you know who lives and breathes football. What you're about to witness is more than a biography. It's the uncovering of a legend. It was almost written in the stars. From the earliest days of his childhood, Lionel Messi's bond with a football was something pure, almost spiritual. He wasn't just a kid who liked the game. He lived and breathed it. So strong was his connection that he would refuse to go out shopping with his family unless he could bring a ball along. To him, the ball wasn't a toy. It was a part of who he was. But even for someone born with rare talent, life wasn't always kind. When financial struggles hit, Messi's place in his beloved local team, Newell's Old Boys, became uncertain. Still, his brilliance on the pitch was undeniable. By the time he was just 7 years old, he had already joined the club's youth academy. His small frame, often overlooked by coaches, concealed a fire inside, a fierce passion and an unmatched drive to be the best. Then came the turning point. At only 11 years old, Lionel received a diagnosis that would shake any family to the core: a growth hormone deficiency, a condition that not only threatened his career, it threatened his dream, his future. For most, this would be the end of the road, but not for Messi. Not for his family. His father, Jorge, took on the weight of the world to ensure Lionel could get the treatment he needed, even if it meant sacrificing their own stability, even if it meant facing rejection after rejection. They fought tooth and nail. Because this wasn't just about football, this was about a dream worth protecting at all costs. During those years of painful injections and emotional strain, Messi didn't stop. He kept training, kept playing. On the dusty streets of Rosario, with his brothers and cousins, he sharpened his skills. Sometimes he'd even challenge older players, some nearly twice his age, and leave them chasing shadows. His left foot became a thing of legend in the neighborhood, a weapon no one could tame. Eventually, the spotlight began to find him. Clubs started to take notice. But just when it seemed like things were turning around, Newell's Old Boys hesitated. They weren't willing to fully commit to his treatment. The opportunity slipped, briefly. Messi was offered to River Plate, but negotiations fell apart, and Newell's returned to the table, but it was too little, too late. The path ahead was uncertain, the pressure growing. Yet, destiny had other plans, because while doors were closing in Argentina, one faraway club was about to change everything. At just 13 years old, Lionel Messi made the boldest move of his life. He left behind his home, his friends, and everything familiar to chase a dream across the ocean in Barcelona. What followed was nothing short of history in the making. League titles, Champions League trophies, Ballon d'Ors. But none of that happened by accident. Behind every win, behind every goal, was a story of sacrifice, pain, and a relentless spirit that never gave up. Messi's rise wasn't just about talent, it was about heart. And now, you know where it all began. Daiki, what does Messi's story mean to you? Did his journey inspire you in some way? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about the moments that moved us most. There are moments in football history that go beyond the scoreboard, moments that aren't just played, they're felt. And Lionel Messi, time and time again, gave the world moments like that. In the Copa del Rey, he didn't just score goals, he made statements. Record after record fell at his feet, as his career turned into a masterpiece of brilliance and unrelenting greatness. But what is greatness without a rival? Parallel to Messi's meteoric rise, another phenomenon was making history: Cristiano Ronaldo. Two legends, two different styles, one unforgettable rivalry. What began in 2008, when Messi lifted his very first Ballon d'Or, would soon evolve into one of the most captivating storylines in sports history. For more than a decade, fans didn't just watch football, they watched Messi versus Ronaldo. It was a duel that split the world in two, that filled stadiums and fueled debates that still rage on comment sections and cafe tables alike. Year after year, their rivalry escalated. Both men collecting trophies, shattering records, and redefining what it meant to be elite. In 2012, when Messi clinched his fourth Ballon d'Or, he stood shoulder to shoulder with CR7, igniting an even fiercer fire between them. Across 35 clashes, mostly in the fierce battlefields of La Liga and the Champions League, they danced in a rhythm of triumph and heartbreak, one winning, one losing, and sometimes both simply amazing. But while this rivalry captured the headlines, there was another side to Messi's story, a different kind of magic that didn't involve tension, but harmony. Enter MSN, Messi, Suarez, and Neymar. A trio that didn't just play, they mesmerized. Together, they became one of the most feared attacking forces football has ever seen. Their chemistry was poetry in motion, their friendship real, and their results devastating. They didn't just win matches, they won hearts, uniting fans around the globe in awe of their beauty on the pitch. Yet beyond the goals, beyond the flashbulbs and roaring crowds, Messi remained a paradox. While many stars embraced the spotlight, the lavish parties, and the constant attention, Messi stood apart. Soft-spoken, humble, even shy. In a world that thrives on excess, he was the quiet flame, burning bright without needing to shout. And maybe that's why he became more than just a footballer. The media, often relentless in its pursuit, played a curious role. It didn't just expose Messi to the world, it elevated him. It helped him step off the pitch and into something bigger. He wasn't just the face of FC Barcelona, he became the face of football itself. From the covers of Pro Evolution Soccer and FIFA 4 years in a row, to global campaigns for Adidas, Pepsi, Turkish Airlines, Dolce & Gabbana, and beyond, Messi's image became part of everyday culture. But behind that iconic face, who was the man? That question haunted one Barcelona-based journalist, Leonardo Fatil. Intrigued by Messi's near-mythical status and his famously private life, Fatil set out to uncover the story no one else could tell. The result? Messi, the biography. A book not just about a footballer, but about the human being behind the legend, the son, the friend, the quiet warrior who rose from Rosario to rule the world, and yet never lost his way. So as we look back at this era, filled with golden boots, unforgettable goals, and moments that made us jump out of our seats, we also remember the quiet strength of a boy who never asked to be famous, just to play. Daddy, what did Messi mean to you during the rivalry era? Were you Team Messi or Team Ronaldo? Or did you just love the show they gave us all? Share your memories, favorite moments, or even the match that made you a believer. Let's relive those years together. Some stories are written on the field, others are written in the heart. Lionel Messi's journey is the rare kind that blends both, an extraordinary path of greatness, not only crafted by his left foot, but also by the people, choices and love that followed him through every chapter. Behind the stadium lights and roaring crowds, there's a quieter story, one far more personal and intimate. For years, journalist Leonardo Fatil tried to unravel the mystery behind the man known to the world, yet still so unknown behind closed doors. Getting close to Messi, understanding his true self, turned out to be as complex as reading his game on the pitch, graceful on the surface, yet full of hidden depth beneath. But while the world tried to reach Messi, there was someone who already had, long before the fame, the titles, or the records. Her name was Antonela Roccuzzo. Their story didn't begin under bright lights, but in the simplicity of childhood. Two kids from Rosario whose paths crossed early, only to drift apart with time. And yet, destiny had other plans. In 2007, as Messi was becoming a global superstar in Barcelona, their paths crossed again. What began as a childhood friendship bloomed into something deeper, a love that would prove unshakable. By 2012, they took a step that turned their story into a symbol of lasting love. In a beautiful ceremony in their hometown of Rosario, they said yes to a life together. Today, more than 15 years later, that love is stronger than ever. Tiago, Matteo, and Ciro, three young lives that complete the Messi Roccuzzo home, are living proof of what a life of shared values and quiet devotion can build. Despite their global fame, Messi and Antonella have always chosen a life away from excess, embracing privacy and normalcy over spectacle. They don't need to flaunt their love to prove it's real. You see it in the way they look at each other, in the small gestures, in every quiet celebration after a long season. From reunions in Ibiza to raising their boys together, every chapter in their story reminds us that love, when real, doesn't need to shout to be heard. But as tranquil as his personal life may be, Messi's career on the field was anything but quiet. In August 2021, the football world held its breath. After 17 unforgettable seasons with FC Barcelona, the club that raised him, shaped him, and witnessed his evolution, Messi made a heart-wrenching departure. Financial turmoil at the club forced a decision that no fan was ready to accept. The legend was leaving his home. Paris became his next destination. PSG signed Messi for a record-breaking transfer, shaking the football world with one of the most talked-about moves in history. The expectations, sky high. Messi was brought in to lead the French side to their long-awaited Champions League victory. But reality, as it often does, had its own plans. In his 2 seasons with PSG, Messi faced more obstacles than many expected. In 2021-2022, the dream of Champions League glory was crushed in the semi-finals by Manchester City. The following season, Real Madrid sent them home again, this time in the round of 16. Yet through the disappointments, Messi remained a beacon of excellence. He tallied 32 goals and 35 assists in just 74 matches and helped the team lift 2 trophies, the French Championship and the French Super Cup. His time in Paris was a roller coaster, a ride of personal success and collective frustration. But even that chapter had to end. In a plot twist no one saw coming, Messi left the spotlight of Paris and embraced the sunshine and rhythm of a new city, Miami. On June 7, 2023, Inter Miami, together with the MLS, announced the historic signing of Messi, alongside a groundbreaking deal that included annual earnings of up to $15 million, profit shares with Apple TV and Adidas, and even real estate investments in the heart of South Florida. It wasn't just a move, it was a movement. Almost instantly, Messi became the beating heart of Inter Miami. In just months, he led the club to its first major title, the League's Cup. Not only did he lift the trophy, he did it as the top scorer and the best player of the tournament. That same year, as if his legacy needed any more sparkle, Messi won his 8th Ballon d'Or. 1 is hard enough. Imagine 8, each one a testament to years of discipline, sacrifice, and a love for the game that never faded. But what's most astonishing is that his story still isn't over. His Miami chapter is just beginning. With every season, Messi continues to evolve, pushing the limits of what even the greatest can achieve. And let's not forget his triumph in the jersey that matters most, Argentina. In 2022, after years of heartbreak and close calls, Messi finally lifted the World Cup, captaining his nation to glory and cementing his place not just as a national hero, but as a legend beyond borders. He became Argentina's all-time leading scorer, and with that golden trophy in hand, completed a journey that felt written by fate itself. From Rosario to Barcelona, from Paris to Miami, from a shy boy with a ball to the greatest to ever do it. Lionel Messi's life is a story of resilience, love, loyalty, and the courage to keep dreaming. His legacy is not just in the trophies or the goals. It's in the quiet moments, the perseverance, the way he carried not just the ball, but the hope of millions through every challenge. What part of Messi's journey speaks to you the most? Was it the loyalty to Barcelona, his World Cup victory, or the love story with Antonela? Share your favorite Messi moment in the comments. We'd love to know how his story has inspired you.